Hello, everyone. Now that you're all in your teens, you're probably hard at work building your prototype and developing your solution. But in this process, there is still one main thing that you shouldn't forget, and that is the people that you're building the solution for. In any innovation process, it's very important to keep the human at the center of a new product, a new service, or a new model, because ultimately they are the ones who are going to use it, who are going to interact with it. And this is particularly true for our challenge because we are working with communities or users who are going through a crisis. It is a vulnerability that they're experiencing, and we have to be very mindful of their needs and empathize with it before building a solution for them. Let me give you an example. I live in Berlin. When the coronavirus lockdown was implemented in Berlin, the first talks was all about the old and the elderly people who are at risk of contracting this virus and how we could help them. The simplest solution was, let's go to the supermarket, buy the food that they need, and leave it at their doorsteps. This is a great idea because the old and the elderly were at risk and they did need a lot of help. But it was a solution that lacked depth. Why did it lack depth? A few days later, I was talking to a friend. Her grandmother lives in Berlin. Her grandmother had locked herself in one small room of her house and was refusing to come out. Why? She was probably very scared of this virus. Now, for her grandmother, is it sufficient that somebody leaves the food at their doorstep? Probably useful, but not sufficient. A few days earlier, when the lockdown was easing and people started to move around again, I read in a local newspaper an interview with a woman who is 86 and she has lived in Berlin all her life. She told the reporter that now when she looks out of her window, she does not see many people of her age out there. So this makes her feel very uncomfortable because she does not see anyone like her on the streets anymore. Now, this woman would probably appreciate it if somebody brought her food and left it at her doorstep, but it's not satisfying all of the needs that she has. She also wants to feel not alone in this moment, and that's a different kind of need. So I would highly encourage all of you to also consider the people, the communities that you are developing a solution to. You may not be able to go talk to them. You may not have the time, you may not have the resources, you may not be allowed to. For many different reasons, you may not have direct contact to your users. But what you could do is listen to stories. Listen to what other people, like your friends, your family, others are saying about this community to get a direct story of these communities. Listen to what is reported on the TV, on the radio, in the newspaper. Listen for stories. It's important that you get stories and quotes from your users or the communities that you're developing the solution for. Once you are done grasping, researching this kind of material, there are a couple of templates, a couple of tools that you can use to make sense out of this. One such tool is an empathy map. In this empathy map, basically you would write down everything that from your research that says research about your users, like what did they see, what did they think and feel, what did they hear, what did they say and do. My friend's grandmother was actively locking herself in a small room. That helps me understand that her pain or her need is that she is afraid, and she would probably benefit from, or it's better for me to help her make her feel more secure and relaxed during this crisis. The woman who was interviewed in the newspaper couldn't see other people of her age group anymore, and that was having a negative effect on her. So she was feeling lonely. Her gain, or what she would like to achieve, is to not feel lonely. So now I can integrate that into my solution. I can try to develop a solution that will not just give her the daily benefits like food from the supermarket, but it goes one step beyond. It will help her feel less lonely, more secure. Another template that you can use is an idea dashboard. What is an idea dashboard? You start with your idea, the description of your idea. Most of you are already in this process, and then you try to look into what user needs your idea fulfills. So try to refer to stories and quotes, like I just did with the story of my friend's grandmother or the story that I read in the newspaper. Another thing that you can do is to look at the scenarios of use. In which context will this person or this community engage with your solution? For example, if I develop a new product that's basically dispensing coins without touching them during the coronavirus restrictions, it's probably not going to be used by my friend's grandmother because she has locked herself in one room. So to really think about in what context are they going to use it. Maybe my friend's grandmother is going to hang it out of her window to pay the delivery man. So this solution won't work for her, but something else might. And then there is one cool little thing here which says visualize your idea, to sketch it. Most of you are talking to your teammates over email, over WhatsApp, or Discord, and you are describing your idea. But in a diverse group, it's really useful not to just talk about it, but to visualize it. Why do I say this? Let's say you're talking about a dog. That's your idea, dog. All of you are talking, yay, dog is the solution. Now think about a dog for a moment. Are you thinking about it? Great. Which one of these dogs did you think about? Was it the dog on the very top? Or was it the dog in the center who's very lean and stretching out? Which dog did you think about? Maybe it was not even a dog. Maybe you were thinking about a hot dog, right? So when you're discussing ideas, they're very intangible and you may not have a common understanding of what they are. So the idea dashboard will also force you into sketching out your idea, which will be ultimately useful for everyone in your team to have the same understanding of what this idea is. So that's the takeaway. Never ever forget the user, try to empathize with their needs and try to find out more about the user community, and visualize your idea so that everyone in your team has the same understanding of what the solution is. See you at the final prototype session. So have a good time and good luck with the rest of the process.